Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Guys, this weekend I'm gonna focus on turning this haggard mess into something a little bit more usable. So what I've got going on here is basically a OEM harness that I have kind of zip tied in the generalized direction of where I want it. The problem with it is I feel like this is where most people stop and get like frustrated with what they're doing. So what I'm gonna do is try to bring some motivational value to everybody out there who wants to build an LS harness, because right now, I'm gonna be very honest, I'm lacking hardcore. So I figured if I'm having problems with it and feel even a little overwhelmed and kind of just want to leave it like this, then there's got to be other people out there that feel the exact same way. So here's the deal. I've done a lot of wiring harnesses, done a lot of wiring tucks, and I've done a lot of lengthening and extensions of harnesses before. And this one is kind of a little bit of everything come together. You know, I'm gonna have to lengthen wires, I'm gonna have to tuck it to a certain extreme, and I'm gonna have to add some wires and repin it. So this harness, in my opinion, at least for me and I guess my professional scale, my level of amateur expertise-ness, we'll just call it, is gonna be truly tested, put to the work. I know that if I take my time, I'm gonna be able to get this done, and it's gonna look amazing for not really a lot more time and effort. Definitely when you consider a done harness already for your atypical LS swap, it's about $300. But when you consider I have $200 in the engine with the wiring harness, $12 in an ECM, and like $4 in a throttle cable, and $10 in a bunch of pigtails that I cut off from the junkyard, I think I'm well within budget on doing this as a DIY. So we're gonna get started right now and let's get this done. At least get started on getting this done. So the first part of what I'm gonna do here is I'm going down this sheet. So I got these sheets from lt1.com, which I'll put a link in the description below for. And what I'm doing is I'm going down the list here and just shortcut forming everything on here. So for instance, I know that pin 11 is a light blue, it's a knock sensor, 2 signal, light boost, signal 2. And then I'm gonna come over here to my engine harness, which I already have labeled blue and green. All right, so the ultimate goal here of depinning the harness is so that I can make I want to make this thing look good, guys. I don't want a cluster of a mess, and I want to make it all lay nice. My goal is to put the ECM down here, something like that. I'm going to bring the harness in through this hole, and this is all just going to smoothly lay here. So I know I'm going to have to lengthen, shorten, and lengthen and shorten a lot of wires to get everything to be the right length, but that's a whole lot easier than having a rat's nest under my hood. That's what we're doing, guys. Time to get started. I hope you enjoy this montage, and I hope it provides a little bit of motivation for anybody who wants to tackle something like this and doesn't really have an idea. These are the tips and tricks I'm gonna use to make this as easy as physically possible for myself. Some of them might not work for you, which is okay. These are the methods I use, and I hope you enjoy this. So let's cut to a montage and get on with the painstaking process of making a bunch of labels. All right, well, there it is. The blue plug is completely depinned, except for a handful like battery constants, voltage constants for ignition, something with the dry bike wire. I don't know if those will be needed, and the OBD2 port. So what do we got left? This is just a giant rat's. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back through this harness, cut every single zip tie, trace every one of these wires back to wherever they may go, and then laying them all out so I can loom them up as needed, make a harness that is relatively cleaner, one wire at a time. I guess let's get to that and see how far we get tonight. All right, time to check in, fellas, ladies, germs, anybody else who's watching. Here's what we got going on. This is just the passenger side fuel injectors. Everything is labeled, and the 4 power wires. Same thing is here. Everything is labeled, 4 power wires, 4 injector wires. The alternator wires were snipped in the harness when I got it, so I had to actually get this pigtail, which is okay because I needed a 4-wire alternator. Those 4 wires are, here they are. They are right here. These wires right here, these are our cam sensor and oil pressure sensor. They are also loomed up separately. Then we have the truck intake and map sensor, which is right here, which actually needs to be redone, and I have to either wire it to this one or I need to wire it to this one. Honestly, don't know. I gotta figure that out. This is the knock sensor harness, which for right now, I might leave out. I'm not sure. Because the knock sensor is actually going to go all the way down there. ICT Billet makes a really cool little thing to put the knock sensors right here. So I'm not sure yet how that's going to go down. I might do something where I just run the knock sensor harness in and along this edge with like the alternator, the TPS, and the idle air, and then boom, plug one in there, and then run my jumper harness over to this side where I'll mount my other knock sensor. Probably something along those lines is what I'm gonna do there. The next step of this process is to do the green plug, which as I've been going, any sensor that jumped over to the green plug, I went ahead and labeled it and depenned it. So the only thing I have left now is intake air, which is these. I think these go to this, or they go over to this right here. Not sure yet, once again, because I'm going to run MAF-less and gonna run on air density. I'm not gonna have a MAF sensor, so I don't even have to wire the car for it. But I do need to utilize some of the wires because MAF sensors also have intake air temperature sensors built into them. So I know for a fact that 2 of those wires are going to end up going to a sensor that's gonna be right here, which for LSAs is always in the lid. No big deal there. So I know I've got to get 2 of those wires out. Not sure which 2 they are yet. And then this is the ignition coil harnesses for the driver side and the passenger side. So I'm going to get these depenned and labeled real fast. This step of the process will be 100% complete, and I can count today as a huge success. Get back to this and get this finished up tonight so I can go eat Chinese food. All right, guys. Well, as you can see, we got the entire harness laid out. I got ECU plug done. These are the alternator wires. We've got the only things that we have left in this are the VSS, which is vehicle speed. I don't even know if we're gonna use that. Things like the check engine light controller, the ignition coils came out of that, and this one, and then also I believe this bit of harness here came out of there that somebody's already gone in and botched up, so we're gonna have to fix that anyways. Not super freaked out there, but that's got the crank sensor in it, and it's got the engine temp sensor and grounds in it, so we'll have to do something with that. Guys, I'm done for tonight. I'll see you in like 12 seconds. If you're new to this channel and you don't know already, just building this is one of the many things that we do on this channel. We do DIYs and maintenance videos as well on Volkswagens and Audis. We also do a lot of drag racing, drift racing, autocrossing. So click that subscribe button, click the notifications bell, and I hope this content is bringing you a ton of value and keeping you motivated on whatever project you're working on. So let's get back to it.
Day 3.
I don't got it. Where's it at? Where's it at? All right, guys, so last night we got the whole harness all torn apart. We got everything labeled on it. Today, we're gonna start laying this harness out the way that it's gonna go. So here's a quick rough idea. All of this is going to lay across here. It's gonna come across there, and then we're gonna go down into this hole. I'm gonna take this panel off, which if you know anything about the C5 chassis, this is actually where the the cabin air filter sits, and then the blower motor sits down there. The actual stock ECU sits over in this corner right here, and then the chassis plugs all plug in right there. I'm not putting the ECU under the hood because I want to keep it away from the heat. So the plan here is to keep as much stuff out of the underhood area so I have as much room as I possibly can to work on this thing and for other activities later on down the road. Maybe a couple boosty boys, one over there, fed into here. I don't know. But, so wiring harness. What I'm gonna do is, I ordered this tape. It's like a fiber tape. My father-in-law says this is from back before there was electrical tape as we know it today in the 21st century.
That was the electrical tape.
Oh, this was the electrical tape.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, this is
Your fingers turn black.
this is fiber tape, and basically it's gonna be like that right there. It just works really well, and it's not gonna have that heat and expansion. It's not gonna act like electrical tape. So this is, you find this stuff in a lot of engine harnesses back in the day. I think some harnesses still use it today. Some manufacturers still use it today. But I'm gonna loom up each one of my wire sets, and then we're gonna put this over all the wiring. So we're gonna build our harness. But first step, I got to make it all, we have to lay it all out the way it's gonna go, and we have to add in the wires that idle air control, the TPS sensor, the idle air controller, and the IAT. So, and I don't remember if I said this yesterday or not, but I am going mathless. So this will be a an air density car. So it's gonna be a very simplified harness. There's a lot of things on here I'm just not gonna be using. Also, we gotta run the O2 sensors. I feel like there's one other thing down there that I gotta run. Oh, crank signal. I have to run the crank trigger and the O2 sensor for this side, and then the O2 sensor down for that side. So we got a lot to do, and probably about 2 hours to do it for today. So let's get it done.
Day 4.
All right, guys, and we're back again on the LSA wiring shenanigans harness massacre. Today is Sunday Fun Day, and that said, we're frying a turkey, we're building race car stuff, and we're gonna eat a whole lot of fried turkey. So today we're gonna wire in the idle air controller and the TPS. Now by wire, I mean mostly I'm just gonna extend the harness. I'm gonna solder these joints all together. I gotta solder the coolant temp sensor wires together and get those ran over. And then I need to extend the alternator wires. Get that loomed up, and then we can start putting bits of this together. Basically, we're just gonna get started for right now, and you can watch as I go. All right, guys, so here's what we got done tonight, and it looks fantastic. I hope you found value in this content and some positive motivation to go work on your project car, guys. It doesn't matter if you do 1 bolt, 10 bolts, 5 wires, or a small section of wiring harness. Working on your project is a blast. For me, it brings me happiness and joy to know that I'm building something from scratch. I hope my motivation and my joy can bring you guys joy and happiness to also go out and work on your project car. Until next time, guys, I'm Audi. Peace. I'll see you on the next one.